My dear friend in Christ, a great musician was once conducting an orchestra rehearsal. To his command, the scores of violinists and guitarists and drummers and pianists and every fine instrument resounded through the air. While the orchestra was on, a piccolo player, nestled between the galaxy of musicians and music instruments, thought to himself, "What am I with a small piccolo musical instrument, a small insignificant piccolo player, doing in this mighty orchestra of such great players?" And disappointed, he stopped playing his piccolo. Within a second, the great musician thundered a mighty stop, and he asked, "Where is that piccolo player? Why did he stop playing?" What a heart-rending moment of joy. What a beautiful experience for the piccolo player to know that even his tiny little instrument was being heard by the conductor. My dear friend in Christ, you may be working in a large corporate house, a factory, or a school, or living in a religious community, or maybe part of a large family where you may not be noticed sometimes. Maybe no one says thanks for the meals you cook or the pay packet you bring home. Maybe nobody appreciates your performance at your workplace or the extra mile you walk for someone. But remember this, my dear friend in Christ, even when others don't recognize your work or your worth, think of yourself as that piccolo player in God's great orchestra of life. Don't stop playing. God is watching. If you allow discouragement to stop you from playing, you affect the whole orchestra of life. You are important. You are special. You are necessary. You are God's masterpiece. Think about the scriptures. God chose Moses, a man with a speech impediment, to lead the people of Israel out of Egyptian slavery. Exodus chapter 4. He gave him Aaron to speak for him. God chose the little shepherd boy David to knock down mighty Goliath and made David the king of Israel. The first book of Samuel chapter 16 verse 12. God chose the timid and fearful Gideon to lead a small army against the mighty army of the Midianites. The book of Judges chapter 8 verse 4 to 21. And Gideon was victorious. Jesus appreciated 2 copper coins of the widow more than the bags of money dumped in the temple treasury. The Gospel of Mark chapter 12 verse 41 to 44. Jesus noticed Zacchaeus, almost a dwarf, sitting on a tree. Luke chapter 19 verse 1 to 10. And Jesus visited his home. Also think about Antonio, a sculptor. He chipped away at a stone and could not do anything with it, so he tossed it away. Later, Michelangelo took it and carved one of the greatest statues of all times, the statue of David. So, my dear friend in Christ, think of yourself as a chip of stone in the hands of God, the sculptor of your life. Think of yourself as the piccolo player in the orchestra of God, the great conductor. Don't be discouraged. God chooses ordinary people for extraordinary things. He does not call the qualified. He qualifies the called. May you have a good and godly day.